Hi guys, my name's Calvin. Welcome to the Military Misfit channel. Today I'm going to do a video on a set of Romanian webbing. The Romanian Army was using DPM between the years of 2002 up to 2017. And this is the webbing set that they were using during that time. I believe it was issued early on in that time. Looking around online, I don't see many photos of this being used. And I think the reason for that is that the early 2000s is kind of when the Afghan and Iraq campaigns kicked off. On top of that, we also had the introduction of PALS webbing and molly gear and widespread use of body armor. And this kit doesn't really work so well with body armor, and pretty much everyone wore body armor in Iraq and Afghanistan. So I can't find too many pictures of it being used. Looking online, there seemed to be another set of Romanian body armor, and that had the pouches built in. And then later on, they also introduced DPM armor with PALS webbing on it, and then possibly a suite of PALS pouches and DPM to go with it. So I think its service life is quite short-lived. However, it is an interesting bit of gear. Back in the 90s, it would have been quite good. I think, to use this as kind of like the yoke on your webbing, and then you would have like 4 pouches, and then you could have put pouches on the belt, and it would have been not too bad a setup. Alright then, let's go through it. So the webbing's made of a lightweight ripstop material. I don't know if you can see the ripstop in there, sections. It's just fabric. It's almost like you could make a smock or a piece of clothing out of it. So it's lightweight, would have been quick drying, but it wouldn't have done anything to keep the gear waterproof. At the bottom, at the heart of it, we have a belt, and this is just a standard web belt. It's not particularly well done. I think if I was using this, I'd want to swap that out for something like a PLCE belt or something similar. And then we have the yoke here. The yoke's interesting. We have this section here, possibly for connecting an e-tool or something, and it just comes down. It's just standard belt loops. The webbing is cotton. It feels quite a cotton polyester type mix. It's quite thick, quite heavy duty, but again, I think it would have soaked up a lot of water. What's interesting is that it's riveted in key sections, so it would have been quite strong. I think it would have held together quite well. What's interesting is if we look at this yoke section, the way that it sort of tapers down into a V. I'm not sure the idea behind that. It probably would have been a bit awkward to use, just having like that one point. But I think if you put a pouch in the back there, like a water bottle pouch or what have you, that would have kept things separate, would have stopped it bunching up, so it should have worked quite well. On the yoke, the padded section goes all the way, so we have more of that webbing, goes all the way down. Up here we have a section possibly for a radio, or maybe a torch, or a flashlight, perhaps one of those angle head ones, sort of looks like that would fit in there. There we have a Fastex or side release buckle to close it up at the front. And then just here is just webbing loops. So you could then place that wherever you want it on the belt. Next up we have the mag pouches. And what's interesting about this is it's actually placed onto like a leather. It's been stiffened by a leather or a similar type of material to help give it some rigidity. These are simple mag pouches. They hold one magazine. So the Romanian Army was using the domestically produced version of the AKM and AK-74. So this would have been designed for 7.62x39 and 5.45 AK mags. In here I've got Magpul 10 round 30s. So again, just a 10 round mag, but in the shape of a 30 round mag. Construction is pretty lightweight. It's just a single line of stitching down there. Nothing too sturdy. There's no bar tacking or anything like that on that section or on these sections. It does look like it's been reinforced at the bottom if we look at the stitching there. and again there. So that would help stop those notorious AK mags from chewing through. They can be quite hard on gear. The PMag style mag it's a bit tight in there. I mean, it fits, but there's not a lot of room in there. I think it would have done quite well with the AK-74 type mags, but the 7.62x39s would probably have been quite stiff. And then we have two press studs at the top to close like that. So I think if you're in a hurry, you just simply go in the middle and rip that up, and those will come undone quite well. This pouch section goes on the right hand side as you wear it, and then on the front of the forward facing magazine is a small pouch, and in there that will take a Linzatic compass, possibly GPX is a bit too, you need to lanyard that down. It's not going to attach, so you need to modify that pouch to work with an E-Trex. Other item that might fit in there is something like a head torch. But I'm pretty sure this would have been designed for a compass. Over here we have what I assume is a water bottle pouch. It's quite tall. In this one I have Pathfinder Canteen cook set. So we have the 1 litre bottle, Canteen cup and stove, and that fits in there quite snugly. We can also fit a USGI cup and canteen in there, but due to the rim on the canteen cup, it's a bit awkward. You could ram it in there, but it will be quite awkward to get that back out again. But the water bottle itself fits just fine. And then over here we have the British setup, and again, canteen pouch is a bit tight. I sort of wonder if you didn't soak this in water, maybe you could stretch it out a little bit, make life a bit easier for yourself in the field. So fits perfectly well with the water bottle. The pouch itself is padded on the back side, which is quite nice. So wouldn't be too much of a drama if it was rubbing up against you on those long ruck marches and so on. And the bottom of the pouch, if we look at it, is actually sewn round in a circle. So I think it's safe to say that that'd be for some type of bottle. You could keep other items in there, but I'm not sure how secure it'd be with the flap system. You'd want to not fill it all the way, just keep all the kit in the bottom so that it's less likely to fall out when you're running around. Next up, we have grenades, double grenade pouch. So in this one here, we have just like a standard World War II era pineapple type grenade. And then over here, I've got a laser range finder. For reference, here's a standard can of beer, and it will fit in the pouch just, but it won't close. It's the can is too big. These pouches are obviously clearly designed for AK mags, and so they wouldn't work with something like an SVD or a 308 type DMR type rifle. You could maybe carry mags for those rifles in the grenade pouches, but as you can see, it's not going to close. It is, however, quite tight in there. So I'm not sure really what the snipers and DMR guys were getting up to. I guess they would carry all their kit in these types of pouches. Other items that would fit in there would be old school field dressing. Remember, this is time 2002 this was introduced, so they probably didn't have Israeli dressings yet. They will be on the cusp of being issued. And then over here I've just got a little survival tin. So not bad for like a small utility pouch. Over here we have on the the left hand side as you wear it, we have another mag sail section. At the top, at the top of it, it's fixed with adjustable webbing, but at the bottom it just sort of floats. So this section here, just like the other side, is only anchored to the front webbing strap. So in here again we have just a magazine, tight fit. And on this side we have a larger pouch, another small pouch but larger than the compass pouch. In this one here I have a tourniquet. Bit of a tight fit. So in the back of it I have a Israeli 6-inch field dressing. You can cram that in there, but as you saw, like if you overfill that pouch it can be tricky to get your tourniquet out. So tourniquet here, so it will hold one of those. That's a little bit of med gear if you wanted to carry that. Other items, you could potentially fit a Garmin E-Trex in there. This would also be a great pouch for like a torch or flashlight, multi-tool, folding knife, what have you, those types of items. And then over here on this strap we have a section for a bayonet. It doesn't really work with any of the knives that I have. Could possibly so that's the Benchmade Namrabis with a 4.5-inch blade, and over here is the CRKT Clever Girl, but you need some tie that on with paracord or something. Yeah, I guess potentially you could carry it the other way, but I think you'd run into the risk of losing it. Yeah, that's just going to fall right out really. So yeah, I'd want to carry it vertically. So looking on the inside, we can sort of see that leather section and all the metal studs that are rivets and so on that are holding it all together. As you can see, these pouches just held on by simple belt loops. So all in all, an interesting bit of gear. I think like I said before, I think the problem was it was just made too late, really. Probably not a bad bit of gear if you made proper use of the belt. And you can kind of see why it wasn't really issued for long or not used very much. Alright guys, that concludes the video. I hope you found it useful. Do us a favour, hit the old like and subscribe buttons. And hit us up with some comments in the comment section. It really helps us with the algorithm. And as always, if you can't be safe, be dangerous. Cheers, bye.